head here, and I'll put the tiny fluke rig. This is the two main components to the rig. So I'm going to rig it up, and I'm going to show you how to modify it, and we're going to talk about how to fish it. Now, if you guys have never fished with the hover rig before, it's not like a regular jig head. You don't just thread it on through the end. What you want to do is you want to put your hook point in probably about 1/4 of an inch or so, above the head there. And then what you're wanting to do is you want to thread it through. And the cool thing about the hover rig head is the lead is completely hidden inside of the bait. So we're going to run it through. So it's going to look like this at this point here. And then I'm going to pull it through until it gets to the hook eye there. This is the critical part. See right there? And then what you're wanting to do is you put the point of the hover rig head back into the end of the plastic here. And this is sort of the part that takes a little bit of practice, but once you do it, it's pretty easy. So it's going to look just about like this. So see, the cool thing about the hover rig setup, and sometimes you sort of have to adjust a little bit here. Cool thing about the hover rig setup is all of the lead is inside of the bait here. Now what this does that makes it completely unique from other jig heads is a traditional jig head, like a little ball head if you had it there, the fluke will just drop like that. But with the weight being distributed back on the hook like this, the hook shank with the hover rig, when it falls, it spirals like this, like a wounded bait fish all the way down. And when you dart it up like that, it spirals like that, and it spirals on the way up, and it looks like a freaking wounded minnow. So this hover rig, guys, it has sort of changed jig head fishing. So definitely an integral part of this particular setup. Okay, so that's my setup there. That's the way it's gonna look. Now the next thing I'm gonna do before I get into where you wanna fish it and how to fish it is we're gonna modify it a little bit. So what I like to do is I take some chartreuse magic marker here, and I wanna go down just the middle of the bait. Just down the middle like that. And then I'm gonna put a little bit on the tail, not very much. I'm just gonna sort of put a little color on the little tail and go around the back side here and do the same thing on the other side. So this little bit of chartreuse in here, it just adds a little bit of color to normally a translucent looking type of a bait there. So this thing looks just like a little minnow in the water. It's super natural, super realistic. Okay, so that's the setup there. Now let's talk a little bit about how you want to fish it in the wintertime. This is a clear water deal. Now, I don't like to use it, unless the water visibility is at least 3 feet. Ideally, I want like 4 to 8 foot of clarity for this to work really good because it is so